hello internet land. So I'm looking at getting a new GPS watch. My last one broke, but I looked at a few videos, did a bit of research, put some data into not some data. I put my findings into Claude, the AI platform. Had conversations with it, with Claude. Got it to do look into some reviews and things like that, and I've consolidated it into the steps that I went through and decision making process to try and might help someone go through similar steps. It probably doesn't need to be done just through a watch. It's probably more a process than anything. But yeah, this is what I used to choose the GPS watch that I'm going to get next. So I'll get started with the situation. So my Garmin watch broke about a year ago. I've just been training without it. I didn't use my phone for runs. I do have a bike computer. Haven't been riding much, but just been casually running. Looking at getting serious again. Probably book a race in probably early next year. The needs were swimming, multi-sport, and battery life to potentially do 70.3 and Ironman later on. But if I'm going to do that, I probably might update the watch by then. So I've previously had 2 Garmin's before. Was happy with the watches; they were fine. After a few months, I stopped using the main features. I don't even think body battery was around. Training status, VO2 max, suggested workouts, things like that. I didn't use. Sleep tracking was good for a little while, and then I just stopped using it. I found the sleep tracking wasn't accurate. VO2 max is kind of a guess, but maybe it is accurate. I don't know. My watch was a Forerunner 935, so it's a bit older now as well. Eventually, I just used it for GPS to track workouts. So why am I paying for features I don't actually use? I wasn't paying for it. I was in Garmin Connect, which is free. So looking at it from a sort of different place now, not what's the best triathlon watch, but what do I actually need? I could save a few $100 that I don't really need to spend money on a watch that does all the sleep tracking and stuff, but most of them do now anyway. So I almost went with the 955, which I think the current one is 965. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if I actually need it other than having a Garmin. So I stopped asking what do I need. I stopped and asked what do I need versus what can it do. I listed what I already owned, so bike computer, chest strap, Golden Cheetah. Figured out the actual job, so I need to track swimming, GPS running, multi-sport mode, 6 hour plus, being able to connect sensors. Nice to have, but not essential. Sleep tracking, HRV, navigation, on-wrist power. Alright, so I'll stop it there and I'll go up. How I chose a triathlon watch without wasting $500. Last Garmin broke. Been training without a watch, not with a phone. Getting serious about triathlon again. Probably do some running races perhaps. Owned 2 Garmin's previously. I was happy with them. After that, didn't really use much of the other features. Just use it for GPS. Track workouts. Alright. What I actually need: triathlon multi-sport mode, swim, bike, run, pool swimming, track lengths, and open water swimming GPS. Apparently that's still not great. Running GPS, accurate distance pace, 6 hour plus, connect to the Polar chest strap, got a bike computer for power meter and maybe Stride. Sleep tracking, HRV. I think HRV would be done externally and then brought in. Don't really need navigation. Wrist running power. I think the Polar Pacer Pro has that, but I've got Stride if I want to track that. Don't need music. I don't use my phone. Well, sometimes I might. Don't need Garmin Pay, golf or ski. Notifications. They were handy actually. Have notifications on the watch. Already got a bike computer, Polar H strap. So Golden Cheetah. I'm looking at learning to use Golden Cheetah to track and plan, which is similar to Training Peaks, I think, but yeah, on the computer. Data collection, not buying the ecosystem. So when I say ecosystem, like Garmin Connect, and I think it's called Polar Flow, don't really need that because I'm planning on using Golden Cheetah. So the options, the 300 to 500, Garmin Forerunner 255. It had swim tracking and multi-sport mode. The Polar Pacer, I thought it had a number after it, but anyway, it was the cheapest triathlon mode. Had good the ecosystem, so Polar Flow is pretty good apparently. GPS reliability wasn't that great apparently from the reviews. Pacer Pro GPS was better. Barometer for elevation, but don't think I need that. And it has wrist power. Paying for the ecosystem I won't use. Golden Cheetah instead. Again, you don't pay for Polar Flow as far as I'm aware. Coros Pacer 3 had dual frequency GPS, so that would be accurate, I would assume. Long battery life. It has everything I need. The app isn't that great, but I'm going to be using Golden Cheetah anyway. I'm not buying the ecosystem. I don't think you have to anyway. Already own solutions to heart rate. So the Coros heart rate was inconsistent from the reviews. From what I understand and experience I've had, that all of them are, especially wrist ones. I think the armbands are not too bad, but by them moving around, I've heard and experienced the wrist ones aren't great. No wrist power, but I don't need that. GPS accuracy matters most. So the HRV readiness sleep, could use it in the morning, but I'm still not too sure on that. Use it in the morning to see how you feel, but yeah, that can sway the way you feel as well. Placebo yourself into feeling bad. So the decision, I'm going with the Coros Pace 3. I found it a little bit cheaper than that. Best accuracy, got triathlon mode, pool and open water swimming, can connect all these. It syncs to Training Peaks, a bit cheaper than Garmin. Not paying for the ecosystem, features I don't need, music payments, all that stuff. It does track HRV readiness for the morning. I think it's only a 5-day rolling thing, however that thing works. Sleep tracking, basic metrics, trade-offs, yeah. A broader lesson. So this is probably the part that could be used more for choosing other stuff. First principles of any gear purchase. Before buying, ask, what do I really already own? So I buy a computer which doesn't need bike features, chest strap, doesn't need perfect HRV, heart rate, analysis software. Watch doesn't need a sophisticated app. What's the actual job? Essential versus nice to have. Am I paying for unused features like golf tracking? Most of them probably do that anyway. Training readiness. I'm going to be using Golden Cheetah. So you can apply this to any bike, any gear choice. Tri-bike, wetsuit, power meter, dual-sided or single-sided. I still think that those prices are probably way off, but I think dual-sided still. Single-sided is good entry level, but I think dual-sided is still probably better. I don't know about nylon shoes. I don't know what that is. Anyway, the pattern. Define your needs based on your situation, not what marketing says you should want. So I'll get this now, testing the Coros Pace 3. I don't know if I'll be testing all these things, but I'll probably come back at some point to say how it's going. Okay, so just here on another section, so I'll order the Coros Pace 3. I'll test it the next few months and report back. See how the accuracy is, how the battery life is. Does the triathlon mode work smoothly? HRV readiness metrics compare to reality. So maybe even how accurate is it as to how I feel, or is it convincing me that I feel terrible? Regardless of the specific watch works out, the decision process is valuable. Instead of just buying what the internet says is best, I figured out what's best for my situation. If you're buying gear and feeling overwhelmed, stop and ask, what do I actually need this to do? What do I actually have? What would I realistically use? Then buy accordingly. What gear purchases are you trying to figure out? What's confusing you? Drop a comment and maybe we can first principles our way through it together. I don't have a sign off, so we'll just leave it at that.